Thank you. Morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. We know that you are all very busy. This is our fourth webinar in our series. We do hope that you are finding these webinars useful, and we hope to have a few more coming up this year. So uh, this webinar specifically is going to focus on content uploading. It's directed at our current AJOL journal partners. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the content uploading process, how it happens on our side, and I will run through a very quick demos so that you can see that it's not so tricky. And if you want to take it up yourself, then you can do that. Just a quick slide to thank Cedar for being the sole donor currently for AJOL, keeping us afloat. And just to give you a little bit of background, as all of you are hopefully aware, AJOL is an online library of journals. We host already published content, so none of the published work in any of the journals on AJOL have had any input or contribution from AJOL. We're not a publisher. We don't work with any of the journals in the kind of active workflow. We just host the already published content. This published content is sent us to be uploaded onto our website along with the journal information, or the journal staff can take on the content uploading themselves. So content is published on the journal's own website or in hard copy or on other platforms. And once it's ready to kind of go on live and go online, it's also sent to AJOL. This can be sent by email, by Google Drive, Dropbox, or other file transfer software. We are sent it in PDF format, preferably with each article as a separate PDF. These PDFs need to be small files. We have a limit. The actual software does not allow us to upload a content larger than 3 megabytes. And this is because a lot of our users are generally have poor internet connections, and having a super large PDF file, we understand that sometimes images and things are necessary. But the smaller the file, the more accessible it is by people, especially with these poor internet connections. The text needs to be copyable so that we can transfer the information onto the AJOL site, the metadata. And if it's not copyable in the PDFs, if it's a journal policy to have PDFs that are locked, then we'll need a Word document with all the metadata in order for us to copy the information across. All the formatting, spell checks, DOIs, CC licenses, everything needs to be correct and ready to be downloaded and accessed by researchers, policy makers, librarians, whoever needs to access it before it goes on to AJOL. This is very important. In order to prevent corrections after the content has been published online, we highly recommend, in line with COPE guidelines, that all authors sign off on the final galley of the article. This just saves things like the authors being in the incorrect order, incorrect spellings, maybe formulas were incorrect, or phrases. Certain words might have been misspelled, especially if it's a tricky species name or something. And if all authors sign off on the final copy, it saves a lot of hassle going back and trying to fix things once the article has been published online. AJOL is a small team, and we receive a lot of content to go online. We get a lot of emails, following up, finding out why the content is not online already. Once we receive the content to go online, we check it. We check the file sizes, we check that we can copy the text, we do a basic kind of formatting. Are the tables all on the page? Are they not? We check that if we have got a table of contents that we've received all the articles, we check the DOIs, especially if they're AJOL assigned. And if there's any errors, we let the editors know, and hopefully we can receive a correct version before everything goes online. This all takes time. There's more. The uploading of content takes time too, which you'll see when I do the demo. If authors' names are inconsistent in an article or even in a journal, and when I say inconsistent, I mean inconsistently displayed. So in an article, if there are a number of authors, it's really helpful to have the first name and the last name displayed in that order for all the authors in that article, preferably in the whole issue, or initials or first name and last name the other way around. It's quite tricky for us, especially noting that authors' names are displayed differently throughout the continent, and we are not always familiar with the different formatting. So it is very helpful if at least in an article or in an issue, all authors' names are displayed the same way. This is also an indicator of the quality of the journal, just as both consistency, neatness, and evidence of a formatting style. All these very, very simple and easily made mistakes cause delays in content going online. So it's something to keep in mind before sending AJOL all this content. So once we receive the content at AJOL, we queue it for uploading, and our small team uploads them on a first come, first served basis. There are waves of content that come in, especially quarterly and at the end of the year. And we know that authors are anxious to see their content online, especially when it's related to certain promotions or something in their institutions. So a way of avoiding this delay is by uploading the content yourselves. It's not a difficult task. It's actually really simple. It just takes a little bit of time. I'm going to try and convince you that it's worthwhile. There is a common email or query that I receive from editors, and one of them is, please upload this content urgently. We have authors that are anxious to see their content online. And one of the things that you can do as an editor or journal manager, part of the journal staff, is that you can upload your articles, your articles as they are ready for publication. You don't need to wait for a whole issue to be ready and published and send it to us for uploading. This is something that you can offer your authors, which may attract authors. It allows for you to upload one by one instead of in a big batch and spending a lot of your time uploading content as a full issue. You can also go back and upload all the back issue content that might not be on AJOL, missing issues. This allows for a much greater visibility for the journal, as well as the journal content being hosted in a permanent archive. This has a roll-on effect because organizations like DOAJ consider AJOL as a permanent archive, and it may benefit in your application to be hosted on some of these other platforms. So maybe you'll start thinking about it, okay, great, well, how can we do this? Pop us an email and we'll set you up on our practice website using the same software. And it allows you to get familiar on the OJS software without making mistakes on the live site, bearing in mind that there are tens of thousands of users on the live site every day. So it's not worth making mistakes there. Once you're familiar on the practice website, you can register on the live AJOL site and let us know, and we'll give you the permissions to then start uploading content onto the live sites. We do check the practice sites and make sure that you have uploaded your content or a few articles on there, making sure that you've stuck to the AJOL guidelines, just to make sure that you are confident and we are confident that the content is going to go onto the AJOL site, the live AJOL site, and be ready to be seen by everyone, rather than there being PDFs missing, authors missing, or other problems. When I say following AJOL's guidelines, we understand that each journal has got their own formatting preferences, and we're not trying to take away from that. AJOL currently hosts over 700 journals on our website, and we prefer and like to keep our website fairly consistent between journals, rather than it looking like it kind of becomes untidy if journals look different on our website. And it's much nicer if everything's a little bit consistent and neat and tidy and easier to navigate. Let's run through a demo very quickly before I go on and on about AJOL's rules and formatting guides. We will send you a PDF how-to guide for you to follow. It's really simple. If you follow this guide step by step, you should not have any problems uploading content to the AJOL site. If you scroll down in this document, there's lots of screenshots. It's very simple. And if you scroll down, there's also some do's and don'ts and how to fix a mistake. So it pretty much covers everything. Oof, the Zoom is in my way. I can't get to the practice website. Okay. So here's the practice website. We'll set you up with a practice journal. We'll set you up with username and password. Once you click on the link, you'll be sent to a login page, or you just click on the login link and type in your details and log in. This should automatically take you to the back end of the AJOL site. We refer to it as the back end because it's the kind of part of the website where you work on, where we edit, where we add journal information. And the front end we refer to is the kind of public side of the website. So the kind of user side of it. I can't get rid of this tab at the front. Anyone can help me. Okay, try something different. Sorry all. There's a Zoom bar at the top, which I can't seem to avoid. So
Okay.
Yes, you can see the full screen.
Yes, we cannot see the bar that you can see.
Oh, okay, well, that doesn't help me very much.
No, it doesn't help you, but sorry, carry on.
Thanks, Kylie. So this is what a very basic test, like a testing practice journal would look like. And in order to get to the back end, you hover your mouse over your username and click on dashboard. You will be using two tabs on the left-hand side here to upload your content. The first one we're going to click on is issues. So what you need to remember is that even though your content is published in real life, the system doesn't know that your issue has been published. So you need to create a future issue, an issue that has not yet been published on this website. So we create a new issue. When you create an issue, think of it as creating a folder on your desktop, a folder that you're going to add the articles in one by one. When you create a folder, all you do is you add your volume, your issue, and your year. That is the only information that is required. Please do not add a title unless it is a special issue of some kind. In order for you to be able to continue without the title, you need to unselect or deselect the title box here. If your journal only has volumes and no issues in a year, you will need to deselect the number box in order to be able to continue, and you'll remove the issue number. Please do not add the journal title in the title box, as this is duplicated then in the archive and is redundant information. Please do not add a cover image every time you set up an issue. Every image uploaded onto the AJOL site prevents users with poor internet connections accessing the actual content that they are there to try and find. It's just another image to load before they get there. Should you publish a different cover image for every issue and you would like that replaced, please do let us know and send us the cover image in a JPEG format, and we will do that for you. So all I've done is I've put the volume, issue, number, and year, and I'm going to click save. And now my folder has been created. Next, I'm going to go to tools. And we use a plugin to upload content very quickly onto the OJS software. Before this plugin was developed, we had to upload articles as an author and go through the whole process as if we were an author, which is very time consuming. Again, please do not add a cover image for every article. You'll need to select a section, which is generally articles. If your journal has different sections, with the permissions on the OJS software, unfortunately, we as AJOL staff will need to create those sections for you, but you can just send those to us in an email and we'll set them up for you. Some journals have sections such as case reports or book reviews, sometimes editorials, and we'll create those for you. And once they have been created, you will see them in this drop down. And then what we do at AJOL is we'll open the PDF. This is why we need all the information neatly displayed on the first page and text copyable. And we literally copy and paste the information into the AJOL site. Same with the abstract. Oops, I'm opening my email out of habit. So we'll copy and paste the abstract. We understand that there are different formattings in the abstract. that's fine. Sometimes journals will have background and different subtitles. Here, feel free to bold those subtitles just to make it a little bit tidier. Make sure that it all follows on. If you have a kind of a column style abstract, sometimes the lines don't follow on from each other. You'll just need to press space and delete to close the gap, and you'll see the lines will neatly follow on from each other. We add the keywords. Not all journals have keywords, depending on the style. So that's completely understandable. If there are no keywords in your journal, you just skip this part out. And we add contributors. These are the authors. And this is also why it is easier to have all the authors displayed consistently in the article so that we can easily see first names, last names, etc. Making sure that no numbers copy across, this affects DOI activating. And we add an email address. Normally the email address is displayed under corresponding email, corresponding author. This section is required. If there's no corresponding author email address, you can put the journal email address into that box. If each author has got an email address on the article, you can add each author's email address. On the live site, the country is not required, so not to worry too much about that. And then the contributor's role will need to be selected as an author. You can see these stars mean that that section is required, and this is the principal contact for this particular article. Obviously, all authors need to be added. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time, but please ensure that all authors have been added to the article. We get very angry emails if authors are missed out, either from the editor or from the author themselves. And please also ensure that authors are ordered correctly. All of you will be aware of the consequences of that. The next step is to add a galley. So if you follow this page step by step, you should upload an article with no trouble at all. The galley label is PDF. This will appear as the link on the front end. The rest of this section is not necessary. If you click this galley, will be available on a separate website. It does confuse matters and makes PDF somewhat inaccessible for some reason. On AJOL, it might be different on your own installations. And we select article text here, and then we upload the file. Ensuring that it is a PDF file. We only upload PDFs where documents are editable. And we continue, and complete. Now we can see that the PDF is there. Our authors are there, keywords, the abstract's looking good, and the title is there too. All neat and tidy. We then need to click Published. This section allows us to file the article in the folder in the feature issue that we have just created. This is a very important step because if you don't do this, the article will be floating and unassigned, and it obviously will not appear on the front end when you publish this issue. Page numbers are normally displayed on the front page of the article, so those are normally easy to find. The published date is a little bit tricky. If there is a published date on the article, we do use that published date, 1st of May 2021. If there is no published date, which there often is not, then we will put in the date that we have uploaded this article to AJOL. This section is required, and so it's a little bit tricky to guess. So if we upload it with today's date, it allows us to kind of keep track too. And now all the information is there, and we can click Save. One article has been added. You can see that if the PDF is all correct and all the information is there and the text is copyable, it's actually really quick. I recommend you check again, make sure you upload the correct PDF to the correct article, because there's no changing it once it's been published. You can return to Quick Submit plugin if you've got another article to add, which hopefully you will. And once you have uploaded all the articles, you'll go back to issues. And here you can see the issue that I've created under future issues. You've got one article there that I've just uploaded. You can check how the issue is going to look online before publishing, which is very useful. You can check the actual article information if you need. And if you see that there's spaces or formulas that didn't come out in the back in the abstract for some reason, you can go back and edit before publishing. Should all be in order, you can then publish the issue. Bearing in mind, once you publish this issue, it is visible to anybody that enters the AJOL site. This send an email to all registered users. Will send an email out to anyone that has logged into the AJOL site and signed up for notifications from your journal specifically. If you are uploading a back issue published in 1998, we do not send this email out. It is not new news to our users, and we prefer not to spam our users. So we deselect that box and we click OK. You can see now that this issue is no longer in future issues. The system now considers it a back issue. If you are uploading article by article, you will still be able to add articles into this published issue exactly the same way. You just will have to select the appropriate issue when you are assigning the article to an issue, once you're done adding in all the information. If I go to the home page now, we'll see the issue on the home page and the article that I just uploaded. So it's a fairly simple process. If you have very large issues, it might take more time. Things you can consider is if you are a departmental journal, you might have students that are willing to do this for you. It's very easy to do. It's not a difficult thing to do. It just takes a little bit of time. I'm not going to go on too much or do any more on the practice website. We do plan on creating a recording of us doing the whole process, and so we'll send that out as kind of a how-to with our how-to document, and that should make it a lot easier for all of you. These are just a few reminders. If you are having trouble, if you have been set up on the practice website and you're having trouble logging into it, please make sure that you have the correct link. Get hold of us. During the upgrade, the actual link to the practice site did change. So you might be trying to access the site off the old link or something like that. and just a few reminders with the uploading. A quick note before I finish off, we are looking into an automated export import of content via OJS. So if your journal is using an OJS installation, or you can export the content by issue in a format that is compatible with the OJS that we currently, OJS version we are currently using, then we will hopefully be able to automatically import content without having to upload it article by article. That is in the pipeline. And as soon as we have a solution, we will definitely let you all know, because we have had many queries recently. Until then, this is the process. And we really hope that some of you will be willing to give the uploading a bash. But that's all that we are going to talk about today. If you have any questions, please let us know. If I might have missed something, I've tried to move along quite quickly. But I hope that gives you a little bit more insight on how content is queued and uploaded to the AJOL website. I see that there is some questions. Thank you very much. I'm just going to carry on. I see Susan Murray would like to answer this question. So I don't know if you can unmute yourself, Sue,
And
unless you would like me to
I
answer
actually
it.
I actually just did that so that you could respond to them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Rather
All
than
right. I've
somebody
got it.
typing, so that everybody could hear.
All
So
right.
please do respond to the questions yourself. I think they're both very useful and important for everybody to hear.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good thinking there. Kennedy, thank you for your two questions. The first question is, at which step do you include the DOI? It is a very good question. I completely skipped over that, which is terrible. So DOIs that are assigned by AJOL are assigned prior to publication. So when your table of contents is finalized, your issue is ready to go online, you kind of in the last stages of formatting, maybe the PDFs, you will send us the table of contents. We will generate the DOIs for you. When we respond with those DOIs, especially for the first time, we will give a very detailed explanation of how we generate those DOIs. And going forward, you might wish to do it yourselves. Initially, you might wish to generate the DOIs and send it to us for checking before adding the DOIs to the content and uploading them to AJOL. So you will send us the table of contents. We will generate the DOIs. We will send the table of contents with the DOIs back to you, which you will then copy and paste into the different PDFs. And then finalize the PDFs, the galleys, and then send them on to us for publishing online or uploading them to AJOL yourselves. See, there's another DOI at the time of uploading articles. So DOIs through AJOL was a little bit probably more complicated, maybe a little bit different to a regular publisher. And all DOIs are kind of manually done, manually activated by AJOL staff. There's no need to input the DOIs into the AJOL software while you are uploading the content to AJOL. If you upload your own content to AJOL, once you have added the issue, you will email us to let us know you've added it and could we please activate the DOIs, and we will do that with Crossref directly. So the only step with DOIs that the journal is involved in, if you are receiving AJOL DOIs, is before publication, when you send us the table of content and we generate the DOIs for you to add to the PDFs. I hope that wasn't too garbled. I'm not feeling very well, so my brain hopefully is going to manage these next few questions. Regarding the publication date, can a future date be used when uploading early? I'm not actually. Can I have the article? Oh, let me read the question. I'm not sure if any of you can read my screen. Sorry, I was assuming that you could read the screen. Regarding the publication date, can a future date be used when uploading early? For example, for a December issue, if I start uploading in October, can I have the article publication date as October and the issue publication date as December? So if you click on the article, on an article title on AJOL, so that you can see the metadata, the date that you input when uploading that article is the date that will be visible on the AJOL website. So if you upload it in October, that it won't affect other articles. Each article will have their own publication date on the AJOL website, and probably have their own publication date on the PDF if that is information that you include on the PDF. I hope that answers your question, Kennedy. Samuel, thank you, Kate. My journal has consistently used author's surname and initials in all our publications. We don't use the first name. Based on your presentation, this doesn't appear okay. Can you kindly clarify? So each journal has their own formatting, Samuel. We don't intervene on any of that. I think that having authors' full names makes them kind of more easy to find. There will be a lot of J Smiths or John Smiths. So kind of the more information you add in the author's names, the better. On this note, we will be hosting a webinar in the near future on ORCID IDs. And this is highly recommended and will solve a lot of problems going forward, especially with authors with the same names or ones that use initials. It's a unique ID for each author. These are free. It's similar to a DOI. It's a permanent ID sequence or number, and you can link all published articles by that author to their ORCID number, and it just allows for much less confusion in author names. So probably the more information included, the better. I would think. Maybe someone would disagree, but it's completely up to the journal. We have already carried out this process on PKP to publish an issue. If I understand correctly, I must repeat the same procedure. I am assuming that you have your own OJS installation, and currently, yes, please, you will need to repeat this process on AJOL in order for the content to be uploaded on AJOL, which means that you're familiar with the process, which is really wonderful. And hopefully, we will be able to enable the exporting of a full issue and importing it onto the AJOL website, which will reduce the workload, I'm sure, significantly for those that do have their own OJS installation. Hope that answers that question. I see that some questions have been answered by text, so I'm assuming that that is all the questions answered for now.
We have one more question.
Okay.
I think it's been transferred to the Q&A now, but I will read it aloud. It's from Edgar Tunja. Thank you for this presentation, Kate. Did a contributor to the journal can you submit a preprint for publication online to AJOL? That is an excellent question. I do not know the answer to it offhand.
AJOL currently hosts kind of final published versions of the content. We don't really, maybe Susan might be best to answer this. We haven't had any preprints yet on AJOL, but it's kind of a moving part that we may need to consider.
I'm going to jump in now, Kate.
Thanks.
Just to say that there are a few journals that AJOL works with and hosts who are using the entire Open Journal Systems publication software that AJOL is based on to do their whole process of publication, from the author submissions through assigning to peer reviewers and copy editors and so on, all the way through to final publication. That is something that we do offer, a service that we do offer for free as well. Once a journal is totally trained and familiar with the OJS software. So only for those journals can authors submit articles for assessment by the journals via AJOL. They cannot do so for any journals that are hosted as a passive kind of library function that are the majority of our journal partners. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, please email info@ajol.info for further detail. Thank you.
I think we have time. We have two more questions outstanding. Kate, are you good to go, or can I take them over?
Is it the duty of AJOL to add DOI persistent link to papers to be published in the website? AJOL offers DOIs to AJOL partner journals as part of our free service to our partner journals. And it is completely optional. Should the journal wish to have AJOL assigned DOIs on their published content, then we can certainly set that up. I think we've spoken about it via email. So if this is something that your editorial board has looked into, then please do let me know, and we can start it for sure. We do prefer the journals to have a DOI rather than adding the journal's homepage website link to AJOL on the actual PDFs. So this would certainly be a preferable alternative. And I think we are done with questions.
It would appear so.
Great.
Yeah. Once again, thank you, Kate. That was amazing and comprehensive. And I hope that everybody found it to be extremely useful. as I said earlier, and some of you are hearing this for the third or fourth time. This will be available on YouTube, and we will send out the slides. Thank you so much for taking the time to come today. We've kept it nice and tight at just under an hour, which is fantastic. We are a machine. And yeah, we thank the AJOL staff. Kate is the one who does, if you have already been assessed and onboarded, Kate and Veda are the ones you will deal with the most often. And then Tiziwe, who is here as a co-host but has not spoken, is probably the one who will upload your content. So this is the full staff complement of AJOL in front of you today. Johnson, I see your question. The DOI, there is no specific DOI software. Please email us and we will get in touch about sorting out your DOIs. There's no particular software. It's an online process for the most part. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to close the webinar now in a minute. Please join us for our next webinars. We have ORCIDs or ORC IDs coming up on the 10th of November, and we will have another webinar in the meantime. I believe the next one is on the 26th of October. Oh, I see we have a hand up. Whose hand is it? Zanox, what can I help you with? You will need to pop it into the Q&A, please. I cannot unmute you. In fact, I am going to ask you to email, please, as we need to wind up. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Working. Yeah, thank you all for taking the time for joining us.
Thank you very much, and have an excellent day further.